Hey guys, today we're going to do 6-6 function operations. Our objectives are to add, subtract, multiply, and divide functions, and we will be able to find the composite of two functions. So you can add, subtract, multiply, and divide functions based on how you perform these operations for real numbers. One difference, however, is that you must consider the domain of each function. So f of x would be equal to something, g of x would be equal to something, and this is how we write the operation. So addition can be written together or separately. Subtraction the same. Multiplication is a closed dot. Division is written as a fraction. The domains of the sum, difference, product, and quotient functions consist of the x values that are in the domains of both f and g. So f plus g, parentheses x, just means f of x plus g. The domain is for both. The domain of the quotient function does not contain any x values for which g of x equals 0, because we cannot have 0 in our denominator. So, adding and subtracting. F of x is equal to 4x plus 1 plus 7. G of x is equal to the square root of x plus x. What are f plus g and f minus g? So first, f plus g. What we are going to do is take what f is equal to. F is equal to 4x plus 7. And we want to add that to what g is equal to, the square root of x plus x. Now combine like terms. We can combine 4x and x to get 5x plus 7 plus the square root of x. F minus g, when we are doing subtraction, we need to be able to distribute our negatives. So f, once again, is 4x plus 7 minus, I'm going to put parentheses because I need to subtract all of g, which means I need to distribute this negative. So this is minus the square root of x minus x. And now I combine like terms. 4x minus x is 3x plus 7 minus the square root of x. Multiplying and dividing functions, let f of x is equal to x squared minus 9. G of x is equal to x plus 3. What are f times g and f divided by g? F times g. So I would take what f is equal to, which is x squared minus 9, multiplied by what g is equal to, and multiply. So x squared times x is x to the third. X squared times 3 is plus 3x. Negative 9 times x. Sorry, x squared. Negative 9x. Negative 9 times 3 is negative 27. We cannot combine like terms, so this is our product and our domain. Since we have no restrictions, we have no square roots, and we have no fractions, our domain is all real numbers. F divided by g is f, x squared minus 9, divided by x plus 3. We need to simplify, so we can factor our numerator, and this is equal to x minus 3 times x plus 3 all over x plus 3. Since we can cancel x plus 3's, we have x minus 3 as our simplified quotient. The remainder, since there are no restrictions, our domain is all real numbers. Then we have composite functions. A composite function is when we put one function into another function. So we have an inside function and an outside function. These are the ways to write composite functions. So it would be g of f of x. So that open circle means composite, and that means we are taking f of x and plugging it into g. Or we could write that as g of f of x, where once again, f is our inside and we're plugging that into g. So we are finding what is g of f of x. So that means we're taking f of x and plugging it into g. So you start writing g. G is equal to x squared. So g of f of x is equal to, instead of x squared, instead of x, I'm going to write what f is equal to because I need to plug in that into the g function. So it's going to be x minus 5 squared. And now, to find g of f of x, I can do x minus 5 times x minus 5, which gives me x squared minus 10x plus 25 is equal to g of f of x. In this second part of the question, it says, what is g of f of negative 3? So now we're not plugging in f of x, we're plugging in f of negative 3. In order to find f of negative 3, we first plug in negative 3 into f. So f of negative 3 is equal to negative 3 minus 5, which is equal to negative 8. Then I take negative 8 and I plug that into g. So g of f of negative 3 is equal to negative 8 squared, which is 64. So g of f of negative 3 is equal to 64. You guys try these problems. Sorry, they're a little bit blurry. Where f of x is equal to 3x minus 2, and g of x is equal to x squared plus 1. Find the product of f and g, f minus g, f of g of x, and f plus g of x.